Delhi High Court has issued a contempt notice to 9 ICPM members. These are striking pilots, and the contempt notice was served after the pilots refused to call off their strike and refused to comply with the court order. Meenakshi now joining us on the phone line with more. Meenakshi, give us the details.
Yes, indeed. What the news just coming in from the Delhi High Court is that the court has, after much ado, much persuasion, much cajoling, was left with no other option than to issue notice of contempt to the 9 executive members, the terminated 9 executive members of the Pilots Association. We saw this whole matter initiate and be initiated at the behest of a suo motu cognizance taken by a single bench of the Delhi High Court on Friday, when they initiated criminal proceedings against the pilots who were responsible for this ongoing strike. And we saw an entire drama virtually play out since yesterday and today. And even today, the court gave multiple occasions to the pilots and the members of the association, asking them to call off the strike. The court's basic contention was this, that since it's a contempt matter pending with us against you, first you call off the strike. After that, we assure you we'll do everything we possibly can to pay heed to your grievances. To that plea of the court, the pilots were unobdurate, they were unyielding, and finally today the court, after hearing their arguments all day long, was left with no other recourse than to issue contempt notices against all the 9 members, executive members of the Indian Commercial Pilots Association, and the court has asked them to be present in court personally on the next date of hearing, which is the 25th of May.
Right. Now, what did the pilots have to say about this, Meenakshi? What is their likely step going to be now?
Well, you know, the members of their committee were present in court all day long, and the judges, the division bench of the Delhi High Court, gave them ample opportunity so far as to go and even say on record that it seems like the pilots do not have trust in the judiciary, to which the senior counsel, KPS Tulsi, reassured the court that the pilots indeed have trust in the judiciary and therefore they have approached the court. But the court they seemed to be annoyed at some point. The court seemed to be a little indulgent at some point. Basically, what the court was trying to do was trying to knock some sense into the minds of the pilots, because already this was a criminal contempt proceeding which was in progress, and therefore in contempt what happened was that the pilots had to comply firstly with calling off the strike, which they were reluctant to do, which they were unwilling to do. Instead, they put forth 2 more demands which they wanted Air India to comply with. Number one was the re-recognition of their association, and the other was reinstatement of these 9 terminated the members whose services were already terminated. But the Air India Council was pretty adamant and stubborn. He said that we also want to resolve the dispute,
right,
but we will not be doing it when we have a sword dangling at our throat. So it was an impasse which continued, and finally the court was left with no other recourse.